The arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, also known as Puff Daddy, on September 16th has shaken the music industry and generated intense reactions on social media. Accused of sex trafficking and assault, Diddy was detained in New York after a video surfaced showing him dragging and kicking Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend. Although he has not yet been tried, he denies all the charges that led to his arrest. The case is surrounded by numerous allegations of abuse and inappropriate behavior, highlighting not only his career but also his troubled personal life. Recent investigations include allegations of sexual abuse and assault, which emerged after a video surfaced showing him involved in an incident with Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend. The location has been described as a hell on earth, with horrendous conditions. The facility, which now houses Diddy, was opened in the early 1990s and is the only federal prison in New York City, following the closure of the Metropolitan Correctional Center by the Bureau of Prisons in 2021, after several issues came to light following Jeffrey Epstein's suicide just 2 years earlier. MDC Brooklyn, which holds around 1,200 inmates, is notorious for such terrible conditions that some judges refuse to send people there. It is primarily used for post-prison detention, for individuals awaiting trial in federal courts in Manhattan or Brooklyn. According to the Associated Press, inmates complain of rampant violence, severe staffing shortages, and widespread smuggling of drugs and other items, some even facilitated by staff. Last June, an inmate was fatally stabbed in the prison. In July, another died after being injured in a fight, and at least 4 people have committed suicide in the past 3 years.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
However, to ensure his safety, they have placed him under suicide watch, just as a precaution, in case he tries to harm himself. But behind the scenes, the buzz is different. Many believe this surveillance has a darker purpose, to silence him. After all, Diddy knows a lot, and if he talks, he could bring down many powerful people. This story echoes the theories surrounding the Jeffrey Epstein case, where it's suspected that his death was orchestrated to protect secrets. Even so, Diddy's lawyer stands firm, assuring that his client is not suicidal. In fact, Diddy is focused, healthy, and fully confident in his defense. Additionally, there is another significant concern. Since he was arrested on abuse charges, putting him with other inmates poses a major risk. Situations like this are not well regarded in prison, and there's always the chance of revenge from other inmates. Sean Diddy Combs is facing tough times in prison, dealing with stress and paranoia about his safety among the inmates. Sources indicate that he is struggling to eat properly, raising concerns about his physical and mental well-being. Before taking on the iconic role of Iron Man, prominent actor Robert Downey Jr. faced a series of challenges that echoed through the courtrooms of his life. In 1996, Downey was arrested on charges of possession of illegal substances and discharging a firearm on the streets of California. In a plot full of twists, even while on probation, the actor, in a state of delirium, broke into a neighbor's house, mistaking it for his own, resulting in his second arrest in 1999.
It's very difficult for you to maintain sobriety. You may take a look at a probation report, if you choose, many, many, many months ago, in which you rather candidly said you didn't know whether or not you'd be able to maintain sobriety in that business. That's a call you have to make. I believe you can do pretty much anything you want to do, but it isn't going to be my decision. And I have to say, quite frankly, here, we have pretty much exhausted, I think, the rehabilitative measures that we can make here. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
Sentenced to 3 years in a rehabilitation facility, Downey served only 1 year, obtaining parole to participate in the series LMP. However, despite the success of the production, the actor found himself facing the law again in 2000, being arrested once more for drug possession, and again in 2001, plunging his career into turbulent waters. In 2003, Downey decided to enter an intensive rehabilitation program, freeing himself from the shackles of his addictions. After numerous controversies, the actor underwent a daring audition in 2008 to take on the role of Iron Man on the big screen, succeeding and marking his transition from the courtroom to the film industry. Now we present someone who is widely known by many, but may surprise others. The current president of Brazil, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, better known as Lula. He was born on October 27, 1945, in the city of Garanhuns, in the interior of Pernambuco. Lula is a Brazilian politician who served as president from 2003 to 2011, and again starting in 2023. He began his professional journey as a metal worker, became a union leader, and led workers' strikes, ultimately playing a key role in the founding of the Workers' Party, PT, and becoming one of the most important figures in Brazil's redemocratization. However, a lesser-known fact is that his first detention occurred 40 years ago. Lula spent 31 days in detention at the São Paulo Department of Political and Social Order, DOPS, alongside other union leaders for being classified under the national security law for leading a strike and publicly inciting the subversion of the political social order. Subsequently, there was the widely publicized detention that began on April 7, 2018, when the president surrendered to the federal police following an order issued by Judge Sergio Moro, who oversaw Operation Car Wash, which sentenced Lula to 9 years and 6 months in prison. The case that led to his imprisonment involved convictions for corruption and money laundering related to the triplex in Guarujá. Lula was convicted in the first instance in July 2017, and his sentence was upheld in January 2018 by the Federal Regional Court of the 4th Region. His imprisonment lasted until November 8, 2019, when the Supreme Federal Court, STF, revoked the incarceration of convicts after the second instance. During this time, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva remained in prison for 1 year, 7 months, and 1 day, totaling 580 days. Lula has always claimed his innocence, asserting that he is a victim of political persecution. His imprisonment generated significant repercussions both in Brazil and internationally, dividing opinions on the judicial process and its impact on Brazilian politics. On January 28, 2022, the case regarding the triplex was dismissed. These significant developments concluded a long and complex judicial saga involving President Lula. What is your perception of this entire situation? We would like to hear your opinion regarding the case. Will Smith, actor. One of the most renowned actors for his exceptional performances, Grammy-winning Will Smith found himself detained in the 1980s, spending a night in a cell in Philadelphia. After receiving such an honor, the artist chose to celebrate with a signing event, seeking to express his gratitude to his fans. However, the excitement of the admirers exceeded expectations. During this event, Smith's security guard attacked a producer, resulting in the victim nearly losing an eye. Will Smith was then accused of being the intellectual instigator of the incident. His stay in jail became surreal, as everyone at the station knew his name, and inmates shared whispers about the alleged tragedy involving Smith, echoing cries throughout the night. In a plea for a favor, fans requested autographs on their shirts, revealing the notoriety of the rapper, which paradoxically did not help his situation. The police held him responsible for the chaos, although they could not punish him. The next day, Smith was released on bail, while the victim, producer William Hendricks, was still recovering in the hospital after a fight that resulted in a fracture of his left eye, requiring 6 stitches. In court, Will Smith faced charges of assault and criminal conspiracy, threatening his career. However, the charges were eventually dropped, and he was released. The actor seeks to forget this episode, maintaining his innocence. Smith insists he did not participate in the fight, emphasizing that when he arrived, the conflict was already underway. Furthermore, he claims to be a victim of racial profiling by the police, initially detained and later accused. This is not the first time the actor has encountered the police. During the protests in 2020, where he denounced police brutality and the racism of white officers who used offensive terms, Smith faced controversies but never concealed his version of events. Lindsay Lohan, actress. Lindsay Lohan, a personality constantly embroiled in controversies, surprisingly has a history of over 7 arrests. The actress's arrests have consistently revolved around the same issues: theft, drug use and possession, as well as driving under the influence of alcohol. This persistent pattern of behavior was particularly notable in July 2007, when Lindsay was arrested in Los Angeles for cocaine possession and driving without a license. She received a sentence that included 1 day in jail and a requirement to complete 10 days of community service as part of the penalties imposed by the court. However, her release came after just 80 minutes behind bars. In 2010, Lindsay was sentenced to 3 months in prison for failing to attend her mandated rehabilitation classes. Yet, her time in jail was reduced to only 2 weeks, marking the period when Lindsay spent the most time incarcerated. At the end of 2011, the actress found herself in custody again for neglecting her community service responsibilities. However, her freedom was restored upon the payment of a $50,000 bail. Lindsay, known for her performances in films such as Mean Girls and Herbie Fully Loaded, continues to be a controversial figure in the eyes of the law. Mike Tyson, boxer. In court, I present the case of Michael Gerard Tyson, known as Mike Tyson, born on June 30th, 1966. This former professional boxer became the youngest heavyweight champion at the age of 20, but his notorious career in the ring has often been overshadowed by a personal life filled with legal troubles and controversies. In 1992, Tyson was convicted of rape and sexual misconduct related to an incident involving Desiree Washington, a contestant in the Miss Black America pageant. Serving a 6-year sentence, of which he spent 3 years at Plainfield Correctional Facility in Indiana, Tyson faced profound repercussions for his career and reputation. After his release, he attempted to rebuild his professional trajectory, facing challenges both in and out of the ring. In 1997, his participation in a fight was disqualified for biting Evander Holyfield's ear, resulting in a temporary suspension from boxing, despite his subsequent efforts to redeem himself. After a tumultuous past, Tyson has sought reinvention in recent years. He has appeared in films, television shows, and launched a venture in the cannabis industry. He returned to the ring for exhibition matches, presenting himself as a vivid example of the complex interplay between fame, success, and personal behavior. His journey illustrates the potential for transformation and redemption, standing out as a multifaceted narrative in the court of life. To conclude our list of celebrities who have had encounters with the law, we have an actor widely known for the film Transformers. Born on June 11, 1986, Shia LaBeouf took his first steps in the entertainment industry as a child actor on Disney's Even Stevens. His transition to film included roles in movies such as Disturbia, Transformers, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. However, a shadow has loomed over his successful career, bringing to light a series of controversies and legal troubles. In 2008, LaBeouf was involved in a car accident and was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. Although the charges were later dropped, this incident marked the beginning of a pattern of erratic behavior and frequent encounters with authorities. In 2014, his arrest for disturbing the peace and trespassing after causing a commotion in a Broadway theater added another chapter to his legal troubles. In 2017, another arrest, this time in Georgia for public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and obstruction of justice, further accentuated his difficulties. In addition to his legal setbacks, LaBeouf faced allegations of abusive behavior. In 2020, his ex-girlfriend, singer FKA Twigs, filed a lawsuit alleging physical and emotional abuse during their relationship, once again drawing attention to his previous episodes of erratic behavior and legal issues. Despite standout moments in his career, LaBeouf's personal troubles have often overshadowed his professional successes.